What if you had the resources you needed for your mental health right at your fingertips? Imagine a world where our mental well-being is prioritized just like our physical health, and where we have access to the tools and support we need. That's exactly what the Make Mental Health Matter show is all about. Join Kelly Melissa Reinhart, a true warrior for mental health, founder of Make Mental Health Matter nonprofit, author, and wellness coach. This show is your gateway to breaking down the stigma surrounding mental health. Tune in for enlightening conversations, expert insights, and empowering stories that will not only increase awareness, but also provide education about mental health. It's time to have those hard conversations, prioritize your well-being, and make your mental health matter. Your mental wellness journey starts here.
Welcome to another episode of the Make Mental Health Matter show. I am your host, Kelly Melissa Reinhart, and I'm excited, always, I guess, to be chatting with you all today. And today, another solo show. I promise I really do have guests that are coming up. I was going to do this one in studio, and last minute plans change, so not in studio. I'm kind of getting sick of the background here. I could do one of those silly backgrounds. Wow, I said that really funny. I am in Colorado. I am not. A lot of people always ask me, where are you from? Living in Colorado pretty much my whole entire life, other than Utah. I was born and raised in Utah, but I was only there until I was 7, and then we moved to Colorado. So I've been in Colorado my whole entire life. I am not from the South. I am not in one of those states, but I think I put together a whole bunch of accents, and even my son the other day, who was like, why do you say snacks that way? So I'm like, do you have any snacks? Do we have any snacks? We need some snacks. He's like, why do you say it that way? And I'm like, I don't know. I just randomly started saying it that way. So, anyways, that was not the conversation that I wanted to have today. I was just merely telling you that it is me today, solo again. I know you're so excited. I was looking, let's see what back. It's probably not that funny when I change backgrounds. This one's like legit cherry blossom. So maybe we stay with that one because it's a little more zen. And I like that one better. I was underneath the sea at one point when I changed them. I could be in the office. Let's see where else. What else? Ooh, I could be outside and it's so mysterious. I could be on the beach. Like, who doesn't want to be on a beach? Yes, please. I know you're like, why are you changing all these screens? Ooh, I could be in the future. That's pretty fun. A cabin in the woods with some snow. Colorado has like zero snow, by the way. We haven't had much. Ooh, I could be in space. These are always entertaining. If you haven't ever played with the backgrounds on, I don't record on Zoom. I actually use a program called EV Mux. It's EVMUX. And they have some pretty cool backgrounds. Like, hey, I wouldn't mind this being my house. That would be pretty fabulous. I could also be in the woods, a little mysterious. Ooh, an office. That is a much better office than the one that I'm in. Yep, it would be really, really cool to have that background. A brick wall. We do have a background. If you've watched the show, there is a brick wall in the studio that we have. I recorded, I think, one episode. It kind of looked weird because the sides of the brick, yeah, it just kind of looked a little weird. So, another beach. Ooh, I would like that background. That would be. I don't. I'd like the actual background. Oh, this is another ocean. Let's see, last one. In my living room. Like this is a way cooler living room than what I currently have. So I'm gonna go back. Oh, I missed a couple. I could be at the library. Or hey, this is a cool office too. That looks like a much bigger, much more organized office than I currently have. So we're gonna go back over here. Because you know what I have behind me. It's a cherry blossom. But this one's much more zen. So I'll hang out here for a little while. On the TV, you get all kinds of backgrounds. I'm not an actor. I don't have a production team. They're not coming in with all the fancy cameras and making everything pretty. I do all the editing, and I don't do any editing actually. I do all the production. So hey, I get to be the one that has fun and changing things. All right, not the topic that I want to talk about, but why was I going that way? I don't know. Backgrounds make me happy because then I can be anywhere at any point in time, but then it makes it a little odd when I talk with my hands. So I'll try not to talk with my hands too much today. What I wanted to really talk about today, because it seems like it's coming up really, really often. So I want to talk about the struggle. People are struggling, and appearances are not always as they seem. More often than not, the appearance, if you think about social media or you think about I mean, you could look at somebody, right, and see how they're dressing, how they keep their hair, how they keep their nails. I'm like, don't look at any of mine. We're not talking about me. If they do their makeup, not do their makeup. Some people don't wear makeup. I just had that whole conversation on the last episode. So go back and listen to that if you want to talk about makeup. But the way that you can notice, right? Most of the time, we're looking at people's lives through the lens or the not reality, the false reality, I guess you could say, on social media. And it's not necessarily a false reality, but oftentimes, I don't know about you, but I post when there's something exciting, or I post when I do something fun. Those are the moments that I capture the most in my camera, right? Like our natural instinct is not to start taking pictures while we're crying. Um, Maybe you might have that moment that comes up and you're like, "Ooh, I want to make this into a post," but that's not normally my first thought when I'm crying or I'm really upset that I'm like, I'm going to take a picture of me crying so that I can post this. No, I'm thinking, what in the heck? Why is this happening? What is going on? There's some emotions coming up. I need to figure out what's going on. Yeah, maybe I know what's going on. But we don't often take pictures of the bad parts unless it's something like my kid. He had an incident with a trampoline, and the trampoline won, right? So he's got a big old gash on not his eyebrow, but on his eyelid. And it looks a lot better now, but it was like black and blue. And the trampoline definitely won, which was not a good experience. And then we had a soccer game. So we had a soccer game this last weekend, and he got kicked in the face with a soccer ball. I was like, of all the things, please don't get kicked in the face with a soccer ball. What do you know? My kid gets kicked in the face, and it was square in the face. I mean, one, we're needing to teach our kids how to settle the ball so we don't kick directly in the face of other kids, but that's a whole nother challenge. I am not a coach. I'm just the parent who was very concerned when my child, who already had an urgent care visit after the the trampoline one, then we get kicked, or I say we because it's like this whole experience as a parent. like when your kid gets hurt, like you get hurt, or it's like this ripple effect that happens, because it's traumatic for you as the parent. You want your kids to be okay, and then all of a sudden they're not okay, so it's like this whole experience. It's a we, it becomes a we, but it's really them anyways. But that's a struggle behind the parenting, right? And then you're like, "Oh my gosh, of all the things, why? Why does that happen?" So you have this perception, and you see you're out at the soccer game and your kids are doing great. Did I take a picture of the ball to the face? Nope, didn't get that one. Did I take a picture of when he was sitting there putting ice on? Nope, didn't get a picture of that. Why? Because I was in the moment. I was doing the thing. It's like when you're crying, like you're not crying and being like, "Oh, I need to go take a picture of this." Although there are people that do that, and that's okay. You're expressing the negative of life, because life isn't all positive, right? But our brain tends to go towards the pleasureful things. And those are the ones that we want to take the pictures of. We want to take pictures of the excitement. We want to post when we're excited. We want to get other people excited. Nobody generally wants to go on social media and talk about the negatives. I do it often, not like super often, but I do go on. I try to show both aspects, right? Like there's a negative, there's a positive. Like everything's not puppy and rainbow and kittens, right? Everything is life. Where, oh, what did there's one of my friends that said, when life is lifing. I think that's her saying. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, when life gets lifey. It's true though. Like there's all these things. So that perception of, oh wow, they're doing really great in business, or oh wow, they're here, they're traveling there, they're doing all these things, their life looks amazing, like their marriage looks amazing, or their relationship looks amazing, their kids just are perfect and nothing bad ever happens. That is a bunch of phooey. I am sorry, but that is not life. That is not how life goes. And I reflect on reality TV. Like we love to watch everybody else's drama because I think it makes us feel better about ourselves and our situation, whatever we're going through. We're like, "Oh man, at least my life is not that bad." Or it's like, "Oh my gosh, I have it really easy compared to these people," or whatever it is, right? You're like, "Man, maybe I'm not so maybe I'm not so like out of my mind based off of these people." And then I think I'm like, is that like their real life, or is this all set up? You have those moments too. But I think the whole thing is this perception. So as a business owner, as a founder and CEO of a nonprofit, right? Like I tend to post, I do, again, I try to do a little mixture. Yes, I am in the mental health space. I talk to more people about their mental health. I tend to not gravitate, but I tend to draw in the people who are struggling or know somebody that's struggling, because that's the work that I do. I understand that part, but more so lately, people who you're like, I would have never imagined that you were in that place. Business owners that are having to get second or third jobs, right? Because they can't make ends meet. We have this ideal as a business owner in America, the land of the free, where we have all these rights, that we can create all these things. We have this creativity, we have all of this freedom, but really, like when you get to the nitty gritty, no matter what your status is, no matter what your business is, no matter how your life shows up in that perception, behind all of it, we're just, and I reflect on I know my microphone's here, but I reflect on this shirt. Like, we're all humans. We're all human, 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 human. We're all humans doing human things, and we're all life is lifing, right? We have a lot of things that happen in the background, and it may look like we have all of our stuff together, but really we don't. And I can say that from personal experience. I'm not using just people and things that have been said to me, right? Yes, I'm using a lot, or I'm tapping into that energy that people have said, but it feels like more lately than ever before. Or there's that side that people feel comfortable with telling me, and that's pretty cool too, is that they're not in this space of shame or blame, or at least not with me, right? Like, they can tell me what's going on without the fear of being judged. And I think that's the biggest part, is that not everybody, but most everybody are judgy, super judgy. And even if we don't say it out loud, we're judging ourselves, we're judging others, our brain is judging the situation, right? Like, that's what it is designed for. Our brain is designed to protect us. It is designed to make sure that we are safe. It is designed to go towards pleasure and away from pain, right? It is designed to keep us in a safe space. And we have to judge the character of a person, or judge a situation if it's safe or not safe. And our brain ends up doing these things without us even noticing that it's doing it. Is that helpful? I don't know. But it's definitely what the brain is designed for. We can retrain our brain. We can tell our brain, I'm safe. I'm safe here where I stand. I am safe with this other human that is right in front of me. I am safe in this belief that I can have this happy life. I am safe in this moment, even if I'm crying. I understand that this situation maybe is only temporary and I will get through it. I am safe in whatever it is I'm doing. I'm safe in this business. I'm safe in this school. I am safe in this life. I am safe, whatever it is, right? And I think that's where the challenge lies, is that, and I go back to a whole conversation that I had with a bunch of amazing women. We were talking about the values of Make Mental Health Matter, the nonprofit, and we were talking about this idea of safety. And not everybody knows or understands what it feels like, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what all the senses, right? Look, sound, feel. Um, look, sound, feel. Yeah. I'm like, I got them. But not everybody knows what it feels like to be safe, or they don't know what it sounds like to be safe, or what it looks like to be safe, right? Like, not everybody knows what safety is. And as hard as that may be to hear, because you maybe have this assumption, depending on where you are, where you live, what background you come from, but safety might be one of those things that you've always had. So maybe you don't understand what it feels like to be unsafe. But the concept of safety doesn't come natural to everybody. And so you would never want to say, this is, and I still even think about creating safe places for people. If I say that to you and you're like, I don't even know what safety means, why would I want to come there? Because I don't know what safe means. So, something just to reflect onto, thinking about those humans that are in this world that are are struggling. And I want to tap into a couple things. I want to just remind you of some of the past guests that we have had on and the things that I tap into, at least when I start to think about safety, or when like the anxiety starts getting at a higher level that I want it to be, or my brain's just not connecting. And I want to reintroduce you to those things. But first, I have to go to my first quick sponsored break. And once I get back, I will share those things. So make sure you come back.
What if you could transform your mental health journey with just one question? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to prioritize your mental well-being like never before? Well, now's your chance. Introducing Make Mental Health Matter, the show that's changing the conversation about mental wellness. Join us every Monday on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we delve into insightful discussions, expert advice, and inspiring stories. Hosted by Kelly Melissa Reinhart, a warrior for mental health. This show is your guide to breaking down the stigma surrounding mental health and discovering valuable resources to enhance your well-being. So, are you ready to take charge of your mental health journey? Tune in and let's make mental health matter together.
And like that, I'm back. If you happen to be just joining the Make Mental Health Matter show, thank you so much for tuning in, whether you are watching or listening. I need to change my background now because the background of this just changed. I know I'm gonna have like 20 different backgrounds. So as I talk about this, actually, I'm gonna go to the beach because let's see. Yeah, let's go to this one. I like this one a little bit better. It actually looks like I might be there. All right. So I'm talking about the one this I always say concept, but I guess it's not really a concept. It's a feeling or a knowing of safety, being safe in your own body, being safe in the environment that you're in, being safe with the other human that you might be with, being safe in your job, being safe in your school. Like there's so many ways that I could totally spin this, but or creating safe spaces for people to come, but also recognizing and knowing that not everybody knows what it is like or what it means to actually be safe, because maybe they haven't ever had that experience before. Maybe they have been in a space that has been very unsafe for most of their life, and they have never had a chance to move forward into a safe space. So, thinking about the vision statement of the nonprofit, we were talking about healing and safety and knowing that you can heal and you can be safe. So it made me start thinking about utilizing the word safe. It also, one of the women that I was talking to, she completely opened my eyes up to the possibility of healing. When I say that, and it's the possibility of healing. So if you are somebody that is really, really struggling, there is a possibility of healing. I can't guarantee that you're going to heal. I don't want to make assumptions that you are able to heal. There is a big possibility of healing. And I know for me, at least with the journey that I have been on, doing this show is very healing for me. Being able to give resources, being able to offer educational classes within my nonprofit, that's all been really healing for me. Lucky for me, I've had some incredible guests on the show who have also given you all, as the audience, really great tools to be able to move towards healing, right? Like, I think there is also this momentum that has to happen, because when we're stuck and we're scared and we're struggling, our brain goes to that negative aspect and we're just stuck in this cycle of negativity. But when we add in, so like if we're adding in this possibility of healing, then we can move towards, which is that pleasure, right? We're moving away from pain and moving towards pleasure. We're adding in this possibility of healing. So we're stepping towards healing. And ultimately, there's tools that you can utilize as you move into these spaces. There are also, so the tools that came up into my head were more of the like in the moment. So I had a whole conversation with somebody earlier and we were talking about ADHD, we were talking about anxiety, we were talking about depression, we were talking about, right, like all these things that happen, they're symptoms, or sometimes signs, they're both. So when you think about anxiety, it's this increased level of alertness is the word that's coming to my mind. That's not the right word, but I'm going to go with it. So, alertness, I guess. Where our brain is like firing off triggers that are like fight or flight, or they are signaling to us that there's something that we have to be worried about. And so this anxiety can like build and build and build and build. And you could feel it in your head, you could feel it in your heart, you could feel it somewhere around in your body. It's usually like a full sensation, at least for me, very different for everybody. My experience is going to be very different than your experience, and vice versa. So if I think about mine, it's kind of like this buildup of like building, building, building. And I had a guest who I need to bring her back, because I swear she was one of my first, the first year I was doing the show. I actually had her on twice. I had her on back to back because we didn't get to everything the first time. And I was like, oh, you got to come back. So she taught me the vagus nerve reset breath. And it has been the one breathing exercise that I continue to utilize when, especially when I start having anxiety, or I start going into those spiraling thoughts of like, oh my gosh, I need to do this, I need to do that, or I'm like looking at my bank account and it's going into the negative and I'm getting charged overdraft fees, or I'm looking at other people's stories like on social media, and I'm like, well, why is it happening for them and not happening for me? Or I'm like, man, their life looks so great, like what's wrong with me, why can't I have that, right? Like these thoughts. Or I'm just like, I feel flatline, like there's no emotion. Like it's so interesting how the emotions can fluctuate between like anxiety of like, oh, I got to get it done, blah, 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 right? Mind spinning all over everything. And it's just exhausting. And then it's this flatness of like, I can't function. I don't want to look at anything anymore. And I'm like, done, right? So, the vagus nerve reset breath is the one that in those moments I utilize the most. So, I'm going to teach it to you again. I've done this a couple times on the shows, so maybe you have seen me do it before, but it is 2 quick breaths through your nose. So, and then you blow out through your mouth as if you're blowing out a candle. I always hold my finger here because I'm puckering and blowing at the same time, as if I'm blowing out the candle. So you wouldn't blow out a candle like, I mean, you might when you were younger, right? You're like all over the whole cake. Ew, germs everywhere. It's fine. Just eat the cake. It's fine. But See, I have squirrel moments all the time. It's fine. Maybe that's why you like watching or listening to my show, because you never know where I'm gonna go next. But you, okay, reset breath. Too quick, in through your nose and out through your mouth, puckering your mouth as if you're blowing out a candle slowly and lightly, not hard, but and you keep going, going, going all the way, like sucking in your stomach, like breathing in all, like getting all the air pressed till you feel like you have no more air left. Like it's literally like, "Ugh, I'm sunken in." But okay, so and then you have to take a deep breath because you're like, oh, see, it even, it's calming. It resets. So your vagus nerve actually it runs everything in your body, basically from your head to your toes and all of your nervous system. It is tied to your entire nervous system in your body. So when you're able to reset the vagus nerve, it calms your body. So maybe you were going, I mean, like I feel it even in the way that I'm talking. So I was talking like kind of really up in my head, a little more of that anxiety, a little bit more of that energy, like excitement energy. But when I do the vagus nerves reset breath, like I go more into my body. Like I can feel it just settle down, my shoulders kind of relax, my body like gets a little tingly, right? Like when we stay in fight or flight all day long, or this anxiety, like this high energy, when our brain is constantly going, our attention is like all scattered or fractured across multiple things and we can't focus. We're having trouble with memory, we're having trouble with sleeping, maybe having trouble with those spiraling thoughts like I was talking about earlier. In those moments, or maybe you're going like super emotional and you're like, why am I getting so emotional at this moment? This is nothing to be emotional about. Try it. Try it. So again, it's 2 quick breaths through your nose. So close your mouth, 2 breaths through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth as if you're blowing out a candle. If you need to put your finger in front so that you remember. So, and it's a gentle breath through your lips. Those of you that are listening, you may want to go watch, but you're puckering your mouth as if you're blowing through a candle and it's lightly coming out, but you're going all the way in, like all the air that you can possibly suck in through your diaphragm, not just up here, right? Like oftentimes we're in a heightened state, we're breathing from our chest, not from our belly. And when I'm talking about safety earlier, our belly is where our safety comes from. It comes from our gut brain. So that the gut brain access, the gut brain connection, right? Our body, our mind and our body are connected, therefore they affect each other. Our gut is part of our safety. That's where safety comes from. So you probably hear people that say trust your gut, or listen to your gut, or they talk about how if you have gut challenges, how that can affect your brain. It's all interconnected. And when we can take things like the vagus nerve reset breath and utilize it at those very specific moments that we're in this fight or flight. We're struggling. We're having a hard time concentrating. We're having a hard time thinking about anything positive. Everything is focused on that negative. We're in this spiral of thoughts and we can't get out of it. Think about the vagus nerve reset breath and try it. See if it works. It may or may not, depending on where you're at that moment. I mean, it should, as long as you do it pretty right. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but 2 quick breaths in through your nose and then breathe out your mouth slowly as if you're blowing out a candle. So puckering your mouth, and then all of the air, take all of the air, even when you think you can't go anymore. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then take a breath. And you'll notice how it calms your body. Come back to this, watch it again, see how it's done. But I invite you to try it, see how it goes. Let me know what you think and if it's helpful for you or not. That's okay. No matter what, I have to go to a quick sponsored break. One more, and I'll be right back after this.
Have you ever felt completely alone?
Like your life doesn't matter.
One person dies due to suicide every 40 seconds.
You are not alone. Call the National Suicide Lifeline at 988.
Hope and recovery is possible.
1 in 8 people globally live with a mental disorder.
That's why empowering minds saves lives.
We need your help. With only $19 a month, you help us save lives through mental health and suicide prevention education.
Scan the QR code or go to makementalhealthmatter.org to sign up as a warrior for mental health today.
And like that, I'm back again. Decided to go, into the office. Or if you happen to be just joining the Make Mental Health Matter show, you're like, what are you talking about in the office? I keep changing all my backgrounds because why not? Because I can. And it makes me happy. And I'm talking about today really struggling. And it's got to be those little things, y'all. Like, it's really the small things that make you happy or make you feel a little bit better. I just taught you or reminded you about the vagus nerve reset breath. It has been the best thing. I think that I've learned a lot of stuff. So if you're watching this previous guest, I'm not saying that any of your tips are not good. I'm just saying that the vagus reset breath has been the most memorable and helpful for me. I've also had a ton of other guests that have done or talk about breath work, and it's intentional breathing. And I think that, again, when we get excited, when we're like breathing from up here versus breathing from our belly, right? We're not intentionally breathing. And that affects our brain, that affects our attitude, that affects our mood. There's so many components to struggling, and people are struggling at alarming rates right now. So within the nonprofit, we have a shirt that we do. It's called The Names We Carry. And it kind of, well, so originally we did one back in the day. I did the 29029 Everesting challenge, which was bonkers. But I did a shirt for that, and I wanted to put the names of the loved ones that we lost and those that are survivors on the shirt. Well, we now have created a new shirt that is called The Names We Carry. It kind of there's kind of multiple meanings for this. And the reason why we decided on the name was kind of it. Well, anyways, let me tell you, and then you can figure it out yourself. So one, my sister's name was Carrie, Carrie, but we're doing Carry. As a suicide loss survivor, we tend to carry the energy of the people that we lost because it's such a hard way to lose people because there's not a lot of answers. There's not a lot of um knowing, even if they're leaving a note or they're, that point, right? Like, how it happened. Maybe you were in the experience, which is even harder and adding even more of a layer. But the whole thing is really like the names we carry, because we end up carrying the weight of whatever happened with us. That's just kind of a fact, and it happens. So, all right, there we go. Da-da-da. But we are carrying the names, right? And then also, what was the third? So carry the names we carry and the weight. And and then the obvious, the names are actually on the shirts. So we're carrying with our back and our front and our body the names with us. I was like, there is a third. I know there's a third. So that was the three. So physically carrying with us. I don't have the shirt on. I'll have to wear it next time. Um, the second was the weight, right? Like there's this weight after you lose somebody, especially that way. I think loss in general, right? We kind of have this weight until we're able to kind of let that go, and it's not a get over it type of thing at all. You don't get over it. Again, one of my friends at one point in time told me that we learn to grow forward. We don't get over it. We don't forget. We just grow forward, and we learn how to be in more celebration versus that grief and loss. It comes up all the time though, like the grief, the energy of missing somebody, right? The longer it gets, it almost feels harder in a way, because then you reflect on how many of the years that have gone by without that person in your life. And that adds an even bigger weight, right? Like, but in a way, we're able to release the weight and shift more into that, the positive aspects. So we created this shirt, which I think is super super cool, and it's a way for us to just showcase the loss, suicide loss, as a suicide loss survivor, being able to celebrate the lives of those that are lost. And if I go back, even thinking about the struggle, this year has been really really hard. So 2026 has been a really, really hard year for people. Not only, and I do not like to talk about politics on this show at all. Politics and religion are two of the topics that we try to steer away from unless we're talking fact based. But the political climate, the actual climate, right? Like the planet climate. Um, and there's so many other factors. People are just struggling. The market, the business market, with technology, with AI, with all these technologies that we have now, it's eliminating positions, which now becomes a financial hardship and a potential financial burden. And people unfortunately feel like their only option is that they're better dead than alive. And that is very, very unfortunate. So I want, with everything that I talk about today, is that I want you to get this sense of being mindful about where you are specifically. Are you only showing the perception of all these great things in your life, yet in the background, you are struggling more than anybody could ever imagine? Or are you maybe showing all the hardships and there's nothing positive? I mean, you're posting everything negative. You're posting negative comments. You're commenting on other people's posts and you're being very negative around it. Like, what are you showing? How are you showing up? How are you showing up for yourself? Are you taking the time to get ready in the morning? Are you taking the time to take a shower or brush your teeth or like hygiene, right? Like, what is your hygiene? How are you taking care of yourself? Are you allowing all this negativity to take over your life? And is that how you want to live? Or is there a way to shift out of what is happening and and add in this possibility of healing, this possibility of hope, this possibility of safety? What does that look like for you? What would that look like? What would that sound like? What would that feel like if you're truly able to have healing? You're able to accept hope and you're able to create or live in or have or find this safe space. What would that look like for you? What would it sound like? What would it feel like? How would that be? And maybe you don't know yet, but I bet you if you take a moment, if you're on social media, right? Like not everybody is on social media, but if you take a moment to reflect and look at what am I writing? What am I saying? What am I doing? How am I showing up? I bet you would probably get a pretty good idea of how other people are portraying you. And on the flip side of that, are you somebody who only posts all the positive things? And you're like, this is my life and it's beautiful and it's amazing and I'm awesome. Because you are, you're still awesome. But what are we seeing? And maybe that is your life. That is freaking cool, right? Like, I want to be like you. Absolutely. I think it's great that we can shift into this happiness. Maybe you've already done all the work, which is so amazing. Congratulations. And maybe everything is going great, but I bet you life does life every once in a while, right? And how are you taking care of yourself during that times? Are you allowing the spirals to happen? Are you I don't know, going on a bender? Are you what does that look like, right? Or have you found these amazing things that you can tap into, like the vagus nerve reset? Or maybe you have certain holistic providers, practitioners, therapists, psychologists, I don't know, people in your corner that you tap into, family, friends, right? Like we can tap into amazing things at amazing times. So like what are those things? What what is the thing that helps you the most? Like I would love to hear what is that thing? What has been helpful for you? And maybe by you just posting that, that's going to help somebody else. We're looking to create this ripple effect. We're looking to create this space that people can express whatever it is that they're going through, also be able to show the work that they've done and the resources that they've gained and the things that have helped them, right? What helps me may or may not help you, and that's okay. And vice versa. What has helped you may not help me, and that's okay. But I bet you if you were able to share that and we had really these open, robust conversations around all these things, how much better could this world be? How much better would it be being able to say, I'm not good today, but I don't need you to fix me. I'm going to be okay. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I don't need you to fix me and I don't need you to give me solutions. I just need you to know that I'm not okay today. How much would that change reality? how much would that change perception? And I know that we also get stuck in this spiral of the knots, right? The negatives, the bad things. And that happens too. We see it all the time is it's okay to not be okay. Yeah, great. It absolutely is valid to not be okay, but it also is very valid to be okay. And we're getting stuck in the knots and stuck in the struggle and stuck in the hardship and stuck in the negatives, right? Like how do we add in this possibility of healing? How do we add in this possibility of hope? And I say possibility because it's possible to be able to add these things in, but it's not guaranteed. And I think that's where the possibility thing starts to come in because I can't guarantee to you that you're going to heal. There's a lot of work that goes behind that, and there's a lot of things that have to change, and there's a lot of things that you have to do. And maybe just adding a couple things here and there will really truly start to help you. So I invite you to and I don't even know if you guys can hear, but if you can, my dog came downstairs and he's eating his food right in the middle of this like serious conversation that I'm trying to have with you, and he's over here eating his food. So, my apologies if you can actually hear that. If you can't, you're like, I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. So, but I want you to know this is real life, right? Like life is lifing right now. Like not everything is perfect, and the sound is not always perfect. My attitude, my energy is not always perfect, and it's just hilarious that sometimes like these things happen. We go live, and sometimes the internet cuts out and I lose guests, or like I forget what the heck I'm talking about, and in those moments I'm like, did I just say that? Did that just happen? Or I'm in my kitchen doing a recording, because I know you probably don't know this, but that's where I do a lot of my recordings is either in my kitchen or in the studio at my office. But I haven't been doing a lot in the studio in the office because it's just me. And, I was like, I don't know if they care that I'm in studio or not. But life happens, right? Like people come in, there's pets that pop up all the time, which I think is hilarious, especially on Zoom calls. That is the best. But also, like, you can't control everything, right? The only thing you can control is yourself. I'm going to say that one more time because I think it's very important to hear. You can't control everything, but you can control yourself. And you have the choice that you make on a daily basis to either allow the uncontrollable to control your emotions or your feelings and take that energy and get mad about it. Um, or in the background, you're like, I don't know. A doorbell rang, my dog's eating his food, my kids run around screaming, whatever it is, right? Like that happens in life. And that's okay. Because you know what? Lifes every now and again. Most all the time, it does. And I can only control what I can control, and that is myself. Only myself. And yes, as a parent, there are a lot more things that we can control, or we can guide, or we can navigate, or we can um offer as a way for our children to do it. But I also believe that when we control and when we're like hardcore trying to control, that's when you get those rebellious kids, which was me. And my mom was not even controlling, like neither of my parents were, but I was like, I need to be rebellious. I don't know why, but and maybe it was the whole religion thing. I don't know what specifically it was, but I was like, I'm going to be rebellious, and that's what happens. And that's okay. So, like yeah, my camera also freezes every now and again. All right. I am done with my rant and my rave, and I really hope that this was helpful for you. I want you to know that perception can be deceiving based off of social media. So be careful about how you take that information in and how you allow it to affect you. Also be aware of what are you putting out there, and like, the struggle is real. I get it. The struggle is real. Life gets lifey, and it can be challenging. And there are a lot of things that happen throughout this life that we cannot control and that don't feel good and that make, us feel like crappy, really crappy. But what are those tools and those resources that we can tap into? So I hope that reminding you about the vagus nerve reset was helpful for you. No matter what, make sure you come back next Monday. I go live every single Monday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Dream Vision 7 Radio, or you can watch on E360 TV at 5 p.m. Mountain Denver time. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for joining today for the Make Mental Health Matter show. We hope you found today's episode insightful and empowering. Remember, your mental health journey doesn't end here. For more resources, support, and information, visit us online at makementalhealthmatter.org. You won't forget to subscribe to our show or follow us on social media to stay connected and continue the conversation, will you? That's right. Together, let's make mental health matter. Until next time.